going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Nontendo Podcast. My name is Wood, and we are joined today by Spawnwave's own John. Woo! Hello, hi.
That's me. Hi.
That's you.
Hi. It's good to be here.
I'm going to get yelled about this. My shoelace is untied every single time.
I didn't realize shoelaces were going to be in the shot.
Oh, it's the shoe cast. Everyone calls it the feet cast because the whole episode is me waving my little feeties around. So excited to have you in. We're like good friends. We are good friends. You would say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say that,
good.
yeah.
Family even. Brothers maybe.
Well, it's a lot easier now you're up in the northeastern area.
I know. We've even got the chance, and it's been a minute, but we've got the chance to work out together now. You've driven up and worked out in my gym a few times.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you're looking huge.
Thank you. Thank you.
You might be the biggest guy we've had on the podcast, and we had a wrestler.
I thought you had a wrestler.
We had a wrestler.
Yeah.
But those arms are looking thick over there on that camera lens. Every time I cut over there, I'm like, but I had to rep my favorite sweater today, so my arms aren't out.
Did
you notice what I was wearing?
I saw that, the Mafia shirt. That's a good one. That's a classic.
Do you want to give a history
Classic
on that one, or
merchandise.
should we leave that one to be a little Easter
We'll
egg?
leave that one up as an Easter egg. I think. Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen it in person in a long time, though. That's
I have my wardrobe is full of sweaters, and Kim's always like, you got to throw some of these out. I'm like, no, because one day I will use one, and this is one. She's like, you never wear that. I'm like, I will wear it.
I have a lot of stuff too that I don't wear. My wife tries to throw it all away. So.
You probably don't fit in half your clothes anymore.
No, but I keep them just in case.
Yeah, it's just in case you shrink back down.
Just in case something happens. Well, no, if I get bigger.
All right, you have those clothes.
I have those
still.
clothes still. Yeah.
Are you trying to get back in them, but muscle wise?
No.
Because how big were you at one point?
And
by big, we mean not like you've been working out big.
I was like 230 pounds.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's old videos of it. So.
And then you lost a ton of weight and then
Lost
started putting on muscle? Or did you,
I went down to like 161 at one point.
What do you weigh now?
180.
And how tall are you?
5'10".
Yeah, so you're big. You're a big guy. You're a big boy.
So
yeah.
It's well, I mean, not big necessarily. It's like you're either 6 foot or you're not, right? So
I mean, you're looking great.
yeah. Well, thank you.
I actually was trying to find images of you for the thumbnail last night, and I looked up Spawnwave John, and all the photos are just that shirtless one of you at the beach, or like you working out in the gym. Like there's no normal photos of you anymore. It's all just ripped.
I used to post more of them, then I kind of slowed down a bit. So.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that? You feel good? You feel strong? You feel healthy?
I do a lot more than before. Yeah, a lot more. It used to be a lot of like candy and bowls of cereal at night, and not so much now.
You're like the video games world buff dad.
Yeah, I'm getting up there a bit. I'm in age.
Do your comments ever say like, "Oh, buff daddy, thank you for the news"?
Literally, someone's in the chat right now saying he is literally the hottest guy right now.
I do,
which is awesome.
I get a lot of DMs. I thought about saving them, and before when I retire, the last video is just me reading all the DMs.
I mean, not to make you feel awkward, but you've also got like a nice face and jaw. Your beard is like full and thick. You have these great eyebrows. You have beautiful
Great eyebrows, really?
Yeah.
I never hear that.
Like thick, like defined eyebrows. Yeah, you're
Usually
very
it's
attractive.
like someone comes to me and is like, "You gotta do something with those eyebrows."
No, they look good. They look good the way they are. Anyway, we can stop gushing over how good you look. Let's talk about your channel and how that's going, because you have just been on a steady rise of success in creating these daily news videos on your channel. I've always kind of seen you as like the video gaming's Philly DeFranco.
You said that before.
Yeah. It's you post every morning, you post a news style video about everything that's happening in the gaming space. You do it in such a clear-cut, factual, non-biased way. You just give the people the news, and then you get out, you spend time with your family until you do it all again the next day. What's that been like for you, growing that channel over the last several years?
It's been nice to have like an expected workflow of I have 20 minutes. I'm going to fit the news in here, comments, poll, and that's it. And I do that every weekday. So it's like, okay, I can set my clock to it.
Yeah, I've been.
That's
We talked about it a bunch, but I'm so jealous of your workflow because you just you get it done, and then you can spend your day with your family, or working out, or whatever other work you want to do.
I do a lot of writing during the day. So like a lot of the stuff in that video is like me sporadically writing. See, I silence my phone.
That was my watch.
Come on, dude.
That was my watch automatically.
It wasn't me this
picking
time.
up. I will take my watch off. I don't even want it.
Oh, wow.
I hate that. You have an Apple Watch?
No. I used to have a Galaxy Watch.
New to me. If you like lift it up and like it turns on and you start talking, it'll automatically start listening to what you're saying and then try and
so
search
just the
for it.
movement of your wrist.
Yeah.
I used to have a Galaxy Watch, and then I'm not really a watch guy. I don't know.
You know the main reason why I like having it is for the step tracker.
Yeah,
For the fitness stuff.
I rely on my phone sometimes because it says it has a step tracker, and I feel like it's very inaccurate.
The watch was so much. It was so nice for it. I always try and hit 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah, so I Galaxy Watch. I've seen Apple Watches, but I'm not.
How many steps a day are you doing now?
Like 10 to 15,000, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could talk about.
I have
that
an
all
entire.
day.
Well, I have an entire setup downstairs, and I figured this out. Where if you have a standing desk, all right, actually you can get them cheap on Amazon for like $150, and for like the motorized one, not one you got to like wheel around to get it up. And then you have like a walking pad. It's basically a treadmill that doesn't have.
You're walking at your stand-up desk.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So what I do is it doesn't have like a handle on it. It's like a treadmill that goes maybe I think at the most a 3 an hour, but you set it like a 2 or something, and you just kind of slide it under the standing desk. I have my PS5 with a monitor, and then I also have a monitor here that I plug my MacBook into. So most of the day I'm kind of working and
walking.
playing games and walking.
Whoa. Is that not distracting? Is that not?
If you put it slow enough, not real. Like one day I didn't even realize it, and it stopped because after an hour it just stops going.
Yeah.
And then I started it again, and then I looked later on that day, and it was like 26,000 steps because I just wasn't even thinking about it. I was typing all my stuff. I played Rebirth for like 3 hours. So it's nice. You can do it right in the morning. Just come downstairs and start going through, checking how everything's going, and then
I might need to start applying this.
I think the whole thing, the table, the walking pad was like $300 total.
I already have a stand-up desk. I just need the walking pad. Can you link me that?
Yeah, on Amazon.
Yeah,
took like
I
2
might
days to
need
get there. There's no assembly. It just comes out of the box.
Because that is one area that I struggle in, especially because it's been so cold. Although today's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's like 70, 75.
If I can get
out,
outside, I like to go outside and just
Yeah.
walk. But it's easier that way. I can do it at night, in the morning. It's raining, doesn't matter.
Damn, don't let all your secrets out.
There's a lot of secrets.
Everybody's going to get buff.
Hey, if it helps people, anyone out there get a little healthier, I have no problem sharing that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
You've
more than
always
happy to.
said walking is like an underrated key to fitness and like staying trim and thin and sexy. And ever since you said that, I've been walking so much. And I stopped like trying to run or anything like that and just walk. And it does. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Yep. Most people, just spend more time walking anyway. So if you can just kind of put it in your day, or play some games or work
So
if you're
now-
just working at home. Yeah. do it
So
too.
now you figured out being at home playing games and walking. Have you ever thought about walking and playing games? Maybe with like AR glasses.
AR glasses?
Yeah.
I don't know.
While you're outside.
I feel like you'll read about me in the paper like the next day or
Like-
something at that rate.
what,
I don't know.
walked into
Something
traffic?
crazy will happen. That'll be a whole thing. I don't know if my luck. So.
Okay. Well, everybody should go and check out your channel for daily news updates. I watched it this morning on the way here. But we have a lot of daily news updates to talk about right now. I asked you what you wanted to talk about specifically, and a couple of things you brought up were the prices on the Mario remake games.
Yes.
Is Nintendo overcharging for those? Oh, and before we get to that, can you bring up the fake direct? Because literally like an hour ago on Twitter, as we were waiting to get set up, this I'm calling it a fake direct because I'm assuming that's what it is. But this leaked out. What do you make of this?
Well-
April 18th, 2024, Nintendo Direct.
I feel like I'm in the eye doctors right now.
You're trying to read it?
You want me to read it? I
You can read it off, yeah.
It says Hyrule Warriors Imprisoning War, November 21st, 2024. Wind Waker HD, Monster Hunter Stories, Endless Ocean, Epic Mickey, Paper Mario. There's Animal Crossing New Leaf HD, Fantasy Life 1, Decapolis, Little Kitty, which I don't know what that is, Biomutant, Super Mario Party 2, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Scale Wave Unbound, Call of Duty, Black Ops, Braid Anniversary, Luigi's Mansion 2, Metroid Samus Returns, Metroid 2 Echoes, plus Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Metroid Prime 4.
So this essentially is somebody tweeting out the run sheet of a supposed Nintendo Direct that's supposed to be happening in April on the 18th.
Does this say page 20?
Yeah, it says page 27 of 60 or something down there. I don't know what that is.
What are the other pages then? If this is like, this is the only
ridiculous.
page you need right here.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird. It could be, I mean, we're assuming it's fake, right? So they could have just slapped that on there to make it seem more legit somehow in some way, but it could be part of a larger document.
Well, I mean, first off, we would know that this would be coming from, if it was truly leaked out, like Nintendo, it wouldn't be Nintendo America because of the way they have the date set up. It's the 18/4.
That's true.
2024. So immediately we know it's not a Nintendo America. At which point you can then kind of look at some of the names and maybe dates from there as well, or localization, because they'll change the names for different regions. But no, I would be shocked if a document like this existed halfway through an entire pamphlet of other documents where it has the Nintendo Direct at the top with shadowing, by the way, on the logo, and all these, basically everything in it.
I do like the things you're pulling out here. The date arrangement, the shadowing on the logo. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this does feel very off. Also, it's one of those lists that's almost like a dream event. Like anytime you see these like list leaks when like everything's a dream announcement of what we've all been wanting. But also there's things in here that like, why would they be showing them again? Like Epic Mickey Rebrushed, Endless Ocean, Luminous, Monster Hunter Stories. I mean, these are all things that we just saw in the partner direct that we had.
We need a release date for Epic Mickey, but the other ones, yeah, I don't know why they would show them again.
I mean, so much of this is the same as the last one. I mean, the only other things that stand out to me is like, that's kind of specific. Is like Hyrule Warriors: The Imprisoning War. That's a very specific title. I guess they could glean that from just the lore or story of Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is a Fire Emblem game as expected that they can probably go through a bunch of the rumors that are out there now and just kind of throw them together on a piece of paper. But you could have also done maybe a little bit more when it comes to the fake leaks like these. Like you could put up on like a PowerPoint presentation on a computer screen and take a picture of that. I love those ones.
those are
You
good.
kind of add a little bit of a blur to it, like you got caught midway through taking the
to
picture.
your leak, you know, make it seem real.
Yeah. I unfortunately wouldn't put a lot into this one, but I think Nintendo probably will do an event in April, but it won't be at the size of this. It'll be like a mini kind of is what I'm expecting. And then June they'll have some sort of large direct that might even show the next system.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much what we've been talking about this whole time and speculating as well. I just find so much of this funny.
You think of the Mario Galaxy stuff?
Why Mario Galaxy 1 and 2?
I don't know.
That's so. I mean, they already did that, right? And then they took it away from us.
Yeah, but
bringing
maybe
it
that's
back?
why. They got to resell it again. Double pack.
That's
double
a fun
pack.
strategy on the same system. Keep releasing and then taking away, then releasing.
Double pack, yeah.
That's a fun way to make money.
Yeah, I'd rather them wait for the next system, take advantage of all the cool little features they could do with that, and then make Mario Galaxy 2 look incredible.
Yeah, and release at the same time as Mario Galaxy 3.
Yeah. New Mario.
Would you want a Galaxy 3 or would you want just a new Mario?
I want a whole new Mario.
Yeah.
Just a whole new 3D Mario. You can figure out some little thing like they did with Cappy, which was kind of cool. You know, transform into a whole other.
Yeah, I'm ready for a new gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. Yeah.
So we're saying fake on that.
Yes. I'm
Yes.
gonna say fake. I'm going with fake.
Yeah, no, I felt that. I feel that. Okay, so let's talk about something we actually do know. The internet has got upset about a lot of things recently. For example, Persona 3 Reloaded re-releasing DLC that already existed and then charging us for it. I don't know how you feel about that.
It's Atlas. I'd be shocked if it didn't happen.
Yeah,
That's what I'll say.
true, fair. And now we're upset because Thousand Year Door's coming out. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is coming out. These are remakes, remasters of the old games.
So 1,000 Year Door is a remake. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is a remaster.
Okay, but they're both $60.
Yes, they are both the same price.
Yeah. That's a lot for both a remake and a remaster of this quality. I mean,
feels like, well, I will say the remaster of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD does feel like more than it should be because it was on the 3DS at $40.
Yeah,
when it first came out.
Yeah.
And this looks to me like about the same, or maybe even a little less than the effort that went into Metroid Prime.
I was about to say, because Metroid
Remaster.
Prime Remaster, I always kind of said that was more of a remake, like a one-for-one
felt like it, right?
remake. Yeah, but even that was what, 40?
40.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was digital at first, but then they did a physical release at $40.
Yeah. So why are these 60? Do we feel like that's a bit much?
Yeah, I will say Luigi's Mansion feels like a bit much. I can say with Paper Mario, I think it's easier for people to justify it because the original one, if some people just don't want to emulate stuff, I see it all the time in comments or just online, like, hey, that's cool. I don't really feel like loading up Dolphin, trying to find the ROM or the ISO and playing around. I just want to buy it and be done. If you want to do that for Thousand Year Door, it's $100 on the GameCube.
That's true, yeah.
You know, so people are in their mind, they're like, this is actually cheaper and it's on the Switch and it looks better.
And it looks better. Yeah. And it's a core Mario title, which we always expect to pay the Nintendo tax on that.
And I wouldn't rule out the idea of them adding something extra into it. Like I kind of feel like there might be new content that they haven't said yet.
That's true.
If it's a
they
remake,
usually-
they can play around with that. In
Even if
development.
it's as small as adding Funky Kong, they usually do try and add something.
Even that one was $10 more than when it came out on the Wii U.
That is true.
But Luigi's Mansion, that's the one where I looked at it, I'm like, you probably could have been 40 and gotten away with it and it would have been fine.
Luigi's Mansion, I think, definitely needs to be a little bit cheaper than 60. If you were given the option with the Thousand Year Door of Nintendo remaking it the way they've done and charging you 60, or putting it on some kind of GameCube online service and it's part of like the $50 tier or whatever, the more expensive tier of the Nintendo Switch Online, what would you have rather have happened?
You mean it wouldn't have been the level of effort that it looks like they're putting in here?
No, it'd just be a port, essentially, just carrying it over the ROM.
Well, I mean, I already pay for the online, so I'd rather them just throw it in there and be done with it. But again, it depends on how far they take this. I feel like if they show up with some, like, let's just say there's a whole other like part of the map they've developed and there's new character, like a little companion, and it's a whole new thing, maybe after you beat the game even, then I guess I'd prefer this because, and also you have to think about, this is actually a way, and I feel like this is another reason Nintendo is pricing it this way. I don't say calling out the community that's been yelling for this thing for so long, but like, hey, here's your chance. We're going to make it 60 because you guys have been calling it this whole time.
That is true. We've been begging and pleading for this. It is kind of like looking a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah.
And
be like, hey, but it's too much now.
But if it does well, then if I'm Nintendo, I might go, maybe people are still okay with that strict turn-based strategy. We don't have to do something weird with the next Paper Mario.
That would be great.
Right.
If it ends up being the best-selling Paper Mario of recent years, and it kind of reevaluates the series for Nintendo, and we get maybe a Thousand Year Door sequel or something.
Yeah,
that would be sick, actually. Yeah.
So that could be a silver lining to it. It's like, like Luigi's Mansion, I think they looked at Luigi's Mansion 3 sales that were like 12 million copies.
Whoa, that's actually not bad.
It's very good, right? And they were like, well, it's 60. If we sell 3 million of this, great. Who cares?
Yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, it's not that much work for them, I guess, if they do take a hit on it. But I don't know. I think with Thousand Year Door, you're right. It's too soon to tell. Maybe there's some extra stuff crammed in there. And 60, we shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. Luigi's Mansion, that should be 40.
Yeah, I would look at that as $40.
I still feel like it should be 40.
My question is, would 60 become the norm for them going into next generation as their remaster remake price?
That's true. Is 60 technically cheap because it's not 70?
We have $70 games now, and Tears of the Kingdom was 70. So will next generation, will all these games come out, the new Mario, a new Zelda, a new Animal Crossing, and it's just 70? And then we're like, okay, but 60's cheaper, so it's fine for the remaster remake.
You know, you're not wrong. I think that is the way we will look at it.
Interesting. Okay.
70 is definitely, I mean, yeah. Next year's going to be fun when everything goes to 70, even Nintendo's games. And yeah, I think the 60 price point will definitely start looking like an affordable price point.
We used to pay 50 for PS2, Xbox, GameCube games back in the day. Went up to 60 for the 360 generation. And now if a remaster or remake comes out and it's $50 for like a PS5 or an Xbox Series, like, it's $20 cheaper, than the full price game.
I have a whole rant about this too, but I'll get your thoughts on it. I do feel like games in general, even going up to 70, are still way cheaper than they used to be back in the day. If you count for inflation.
For inflation, yeah.
Games prices have really only gone down over the years.
Well, if you go back and look at, like, the people who put up those old, like, Toys R Us ads, and it shows the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo 64 system, and then the games. The games are 70% of the price of the system.
I know.
People look at that and just go, oh, well, the games were more expensive. Well, yeah, but then you look at the system and it's like the games were, I mean, borderline close to what the system was. $150 for a Super Nintendo back then. Chrono Trigger was like $100.
Yeah.
$90.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And game prices were all over the place back then.
Yeah, I will say, though, we did get legitimate circuit boards in there, and it was the game, flawed or not, it was there. It wasn't like,
true.
here's a access key on a disc.
Yeah.
There you go. So
Yeah, I had that conversation recently on Twitter and other places, but it is sad. I mean, I'm a physical collector, so I try and buy everything physically. But what are we really buying at this point when we buy these DVDs, these Blu-rays of games, or these cartridges that don't have the game installed on them?
the blue banner on the Switch games, yeah.
They're essentially just a key to download the game online. We're not really buying the game. We don't really have the game. We have something that allows us to play the game, to download the game. But physical media has really been gone for a while, and we're just kind of acting like it's not.
It's kind of rare. It's a rarity when you put the disc in and it can play without needing the internet connection,
Yeah.
you know? And it's even the latest patch will fix something they couldn't in development because they were kind of up against it. Let's push the game out. They just connect the internet. That's fine. Have you ever like turned on your Xbox Series or even your PS5 with it not connected to the internet? Like recently, like in the last.
Not intentionally.
Try it one time and just see how barren the entire screen really is. So much stuff pulls from the server, like around your games
It's
and
just
stuff.
all empty blank
It's
squares.
kind of, yeah. Like your Xbox Series, for example, it's like the one row of icons and nothing else. It's like connect to the internet. And that's just, everything's so reliant on the internet now.
Is it? It's going to be really disappointing in like 20 years when all these servers shut down and we try plugging in our old Series X and plug in a game that hasn't been updated or used on the console yet. And it's probably just not going to play.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the case. I feel like at least for one, it's going to happen eventually. Like these digital stores are not that old if you think about it. It was 2010 or 2011 that we first started to buy these games next to their release in stores. So we've been 13 or 14 years since then. It's not long enough to really test the boundaries of digital ownership. And I feel like 10 years from now is probably about when we'll do that. And that'll be 24 years since the inception of it. And it probably will be with an Xbox One or a PS4, most likely. But it could be the PS5. We don't know. I'm not sure what the direction Sony's going to go because they tried to shut down the Vita. They tried to shut down the PS3. The PSP they were able to shut down. But who knows? Them and Nintendo cutting off 3DS and Wii U, it's hard to say.
I mean, it's even happening right now. We can bleed this into our next topic, but the Stellar Blade demo that people had installed on their PlayStation 5s that they had been playing, the developers just ripped it off their console. Like it automatically uninstalled off of everybody's console.
Yep.
I didn't know you could even do that.
That's what I heard a lot of online. People were like, I didn't know you could. They could do it. They could go on
just take it away.
If your system was in rest mode, they were able to do it too. They can communicate to your system.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So it's just a license key that they revoke, and people then realize that Sony and with Nintendo, it was, I think MVG reminded me of this. There was Advanced Wars 1 and 2 for some reason leaked out on someone's Switch Lite early. Like they just got it and they showed it on Twitter. They're like, look, I have this copy for some reason. Let me download it. 2 days later, it was gone. Nintendo pulled it back. So these companies can pull games, technically revoke access. And if you have your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox account, I guess even Nintendo, I haven't heard much about that. If it gets banned online for whatever reason, accidental or not, if you lose all your games, your digital library, it's gone.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. You know, I never really thought about it this way for a long time. But yeah, when you buy games, especially digitally, even physically for the most part, you're just buying a license to play that game. You're not actually buying the game.
No.
You don't own the game. You don't have the game. And yeah, they can take it away from you at any point.
No one ever reads the EULA. Like
No.
we all just
No.
scroll through it, right? We're like, oh,
Who's
we
ever
get
read
annoyed
one?
because it makes us scroll through it half the time.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
The worst ones are where it makes you scroll
Yep.
all the way to the bottom, but it's like the painfully slow scrolling.
It's trying to tell you all this information. You're like, oh, come on.
No, I don't
I
care.
just want to play the game.
I don't care. I will complain about this later.
Right,
when
yeah,
I realize
basically.
what it means.
Yeah.
Did you play the Stellar Blade demo?
I didn't get it, unfortunately. I wasn't there. Did you get it?
I didn't get it,
Oh.
but I am actually pretty excited for the game. And not just because of the boobs and the butts.
Okay.
Is that why you're excited for the game?
No. it like the gameplay itself when they showed it looked pretty cool.
I'm a big
so.
fan of hack and slashes and this style of game in general. And the character models themselves are an added bonus, I think, for me.
I think I'm a little surprised because it's from Shift Up, and I have no idea what they did before this, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like Sony saw something in it and came in and pretty much
What do you think they saw?
picked up exclusivity. Maybe the main character, maybe they were looking at like, okay, this could fit into our third person over the shoulder experience that we like to do. Maybe they saw it as, okay, this could be a bit faster than a lot of the games that we typically put out, where it's more slower, it's more grounded to reality. As weird as that sounds, since they have games with robot dinosaurs in it. But this looks more like, okay, Sony can come in and it kind of be like their Devil May Cry, their Bayonetta.
Yeah, it does look very Bayonetta, very Devil May Cry, which is why I'm so excited for it, because those are some of my favorite styles of games. But I mean, visually, this one looks fantastic, and I mean that in the way the game looks. And even this boss fight looks sick. It looks very Elden Ring.
Yeah, it does look kind of like a game we would have, in a good way, that we would have gotten back on like the 360 PS3 days.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen that actually. It's been referred to as like a classic 360 era of gaming, which, by the way, the 360 era of gaming and that whole time period is, I think, my favorite era of gaming that I've personally lived through.
Yeah, I think for me it was the end of the PS2, GameCube, Xbox generation, and like the first half
Yeah.
for me of the 360, PS3, and Wii generation.
Yeah.
Because the second half, the Wii kind of faded a bit for me. It was kind of like, okay, I get the idea, the gimmick of it, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But it was really new and it was awesome. And then the second half, we also had like Microsoft moving in the direction of the Kinect. And I didn't have those BioShock moments, those Mass Effect moments earlier on that I did.
A terrible idea.
But the second half of that Xbox, PS2, GameCube generation was like incredible with the creativity.
It was back when game developers weren't afraid to try things.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, it kind of, in a way, reminds me of like 10, 20 years ago with movies, how they would just like try things and you'd have all these wacky ideas like Anchorman or like those classic movies that we love now. No one tries that anymore because they almost always destined to fail.
It's a formula. They know that by hitting that formula, they'll know they'll make some money back. Or not make any money
that's
at
it.
all.
Now everything is a formula. So if you want to make a new movie or a big blockbuster movie, it needs to be like a Marvel movie. It needs to be something that they know is going to funnel in tons of money with superheroes or whatever.
Or it's a low budget movie that somehow explodes in popularity
true.
and becomes like a cult classic.
Which is the kind of a similar thing that's happening in the gaming space, because you have the low budget indie games that do those kinds of things and those ideas that end up blowing up. But all the big budget games now are live service, microtransactions. Like, how can we squeeze money out with a DLC? But back then, no 360 days, you'd have people making whole ass games that were just so much fun. Like, Enslaved was one of my favorite 360 games. You never hear anyone talk about it. I don't know if you even know what that is.
I don't remember playing that one.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was Ninja Theory, I'm pretty sure. One of their earlier titles.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
And there was a game called Wet that I really
I do remember
liked.
that game.
Reminds me of Stellar Blade
I
a
do
little
remember
bit,
that game,
actually.
yeah.
But yeah, it was just back when they weren't afraid to try things.
Yeah, they're like, we had Ninja Blade. I remember that one. Which people didn't like. I thought it was a fun game. I don't know.
There were so many like hidden gems and random things. I remember one of the last 360 games I played before I moved on was the Captain America licensed game.
Wow.
And that was actually pretty fun. Like, it was kind of a hidden gem.
I mean, a lot of the franchises then, like Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft just holds their entire company up on that now. So
I know,
a lot of
yeah.
stuff came about that generation.
That was Ubisoft's golden era when everything they put out really felt quality. Like, Assassin's Creed Black Flag was such a great game.
They were remaking it.
They're remaking it?
They are.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're remaking it.
Since
yeah.
when?
I think last year the story broke, so we're still a couple years off.
So
from
that's
it,
where
but-
we're at Ubisoft. They're deciding it's time to go back and remake the ones that actually did work.
Yeah. Well, by the time it comes out in like 2025, probably about 12 years from when it came out.
I thought you were trying to say, knowing Ubisoft and the way they delay things.
No, I think
about
they're
12 years.
I think they're shooting for next year. I think is when they're shooting for like.
I mean, that
next
would be
year.
sick. That was my favorite Assassin's Creed game.
It was a good one.
Because it was essentially a pirate game.
And they took it and made Skull and Bones.
Yeah,
And no one likes that.
And it was it's worse than every. I put a video about it today. Skull and Bones is worse than Assassin's Creed 4 in every way. In every element of the pirating adventure, it is worse.
I didn't even bother with it.
I played it for half an hour.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's all I could stomach. Skull and Bones, it throws you straight into like, you have one of the biggest ships and you're in this big battle and then obviously you lose it all.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that big battle, while I was like holding left trigger and just spamming the right trigger to fire like I was playing Call of Duty with boats, I could tell that if this is where I'm supposed to get back to, I don't even want this. So whatever I have to do to get back here, this sucks in itself. So I played it for a little bit after that, but then I gave up pretty quickly.
It's amazing. Like the part of Black Flag that made it like legitimately interesting for
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed.
so fun.
Spins off. They get money from Singapore government, I think, to make it, and it turns into that.
It's crazy. You can't walk around the ship. You can't board other ships. Like in Black Flag, you could like let go of the wheel, walk around the ship, grab a rope, sail onto the other ship. It was
sword
so
fights
much
on the
fun.
other ship. Yeah, that was great. That was just a part of Black
Just
Flag.
a part, just a tiny part. And then there was a whole Assassin's Creed game built around it too.
Yep.
I don't know where they went wrong.
I'm excited for the remake.
I'm very excited.
I know people
actually.
say this is too soon to do it.
No.
I think it'd be cool especially if it's like at the 2025, maybe 2026. We'll probably be to a point where there's like a PS5 Pro out there, and I'm sure Ubisoft take advantage of that, and the game will look really good.
Did you play Valhalla?
I did. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
I was going through it, and then I realized how long it was going to take to play it, and I just kind of Ubisoft fatigued out, unfortunately.
I did the same thing.
I think Jordan and MVG beat it, and I think they told me it was roughly a 70 to 80 hour game.
That's too long.
And I was like, wow, really?
too long.
This game just keeps going.
was having a lot of fun with it, but yeah, I was getting the burnout because I like to try and do everything in the world, and it was too much, and my brain just has my OCD brain has a hard time. I'm like, I want to do all this stuff, but it's too much, so I can't, and I just give up.
Are you running into that with Rebirth right now?
I was about to ask you the same question. No, you know why? Because it's perfect. It's the perfect amount. Every time you get that new section of an open world area, it probably takes 5 to 10 hours, but it's so much fun doing all of it. And you can kind of see the end goal, when you're about to run out of things to do before moving
Oh, because
on.
they show you the dots at the bottom.
Yeah. And then you get that, and it's exciting because you're putting off the next bit of the main story.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
you finally that's like your reward, your little cherry on top of doing everything. And then you go through the next like slog of like
I've
linear.
started to press the main story a bit because I'm noticing people are getting a little free with the end game talk right now online. So
Oh, really?
I'm
You're
like, I'm
trying
gonna
to-
go through this. I'll come back because people
where
they're getting close.
are you at now?
Chapter 11.
Okay, I'm chapter 9.
Okay,
so
yeah.
you're just a little bit. I'm surprised you haven't finished it. You usually power through games.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm at like the 45 hour mark in it.
What do you think?
I like it a lot.
I love it.
I do like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I gushed over it in my video today, but I absolutely love every single element of it.
There's some moments in like the main story I've seen where it just feels like they drag it out just a touch, but it's not. The first one I had that issue with certain areas, sewers. There are parts in Shinra building where I was like, okay, they're still going with this, but it hasn't overstayed its welcome with any one spot.
I agree.
To where I felt like, oh, okay, wow, this is still going.
It
Okay.
really feels like a fun, whimsical adventure of now I'm here, now I'm here, now I'm going over here. And it's like all these different vibes and ideas and concepts. I agree in the first one. One of my biggest complaints was the crane part where you and Aerith.
and you had to move the stuff
my
around.
God,
Yeah.
dude. I think you had to do it twice.
It was one too many. Yeah.
So bad,
Yep.
so painful. But I haven't had anything like that in this game where I'm like, yeah, I didn't really need that.
And it feels so much more open.
Yes, so much more open. It's like a semi-open, what's it called? Open zone?
Open zone.
Yeah.
Although they seem to think it's open world, it's definitely open zone.
It feels open world. Like
Yeah.
you can tell, I mean, you play the game, you can kind of tell, but it feels open world. It feels like I could go anywhere, even if some parts are like connected.
Right, where you like kind of teleport from one to the other.
Yeah.
But like the area is much larger than.
But I had a revelation last week, actually, when I was talking to Steve, who did the podcast with me, Pokemon Cast. He said he likes the open zone more because they really refine each of the areas. So you know each section you're getting like in a very intentional world design. And I never thought about that, but I do appreciate it. Because when you do get a whole world, there's filler gaps where they need to kind of figure out how to smash the pieces they want to make together. At least this kind of cuts out that bullcrap. It's just, this is it. And then this is it. And then this is it. And then every bit is fun to explore.
It did with 16 as well. And the open zone doesn't really bother me.
Did you like
It's fine.
16?
Yeah, I liked it. I did. I know there are people out there who didn't really like it that much, but I thought the boss fights were awesome.
The boss fights were sick.
They're really, and that's obviously where like 80% of the money went. Let's make this boss fight as awesome as possible.
I enjoyed the story. It was Game of Thronesy.
Yeah, it was. It was very dark, and that's what I thought about with 17 when they inevitably do that in like 5 or 6 years. If they decide to go, it was very dark and brooding the whole time through 16.
Yeah.
I always wonder if they try to do something maybe to brighten it up a little bit.
I would like that. Like you're playing through 7 Rebirth right now, and it's so fun and positive and lighthearted and.
But then they
good.
still have those moments where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
this is getting serious. Obviously, with the the 7 storyline, some of the basically the abominations you fight in the game, and they're
Yeah.
like it's referencing different parts of Sephiroth's story, and it's not a technically a happy story, but they have moments where you're like, let's go to the beach and just go on vacation. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, that's fun.
and dress up in skimpy little outfits.
There you go. But that's kind of what I wouldn't mind them taking a more Final Fantasy X kind of tone where it was tropical, it was bright at times, but then it got really dark with the relationship between Tidus and his dad.
7 is like that. Like 9 was like that. Just very fun, upbeat, and goofy. And yeah, I think that's where Final Fantasy 7 hits its stride. Final Fantasy games hit its stride. Even 15 was very upbeat and goofy. And
It was because it was about the them traveling around together and sort of that brotherhood. So
yeah, I hope they go back there. 16 is good though.
yeah, I think 7 Rebirth's better, but I liked 16. So 16 was fun.
You want to cut to the? Yeah.
Let's do it.
This episode isn't sponsored.
Nope.
So how about we talk about the Patreon? The Patreon. Oh my God. Yay. So many fun rewards, including the newest one, which I just posted, the behind the scenes for all of February.
Oh my God.
Have you seen it?
No, not
You
yet.
don't have to watch it.
I'm not on the
It's a
Patreon.
behind the scenes look at every guest we had in the studio, completely narrated by me.
Oh my God.
I also edited it and
Wow.
I threw it up there on the Patreon. You can get that if you want. Actually, I got a ton of comments on it saying that it was really awesome and it was a nice look. And
Nice.
they got to see the studio a little bit.
And that's
So-
the first time you've done that, right?
Yeah, like properly, like
Okay.
officially, yeah.
Awesome.
I don't want to talk about it now. We used to film behind the scenes, but then no one would edit them.
Yeah.
But now they're happening every single month. And as well as that, you get bonus episodes after every episode. Today's episode will have a bonus episode posted only to Patreon. Anything you want to add to it?
I just love that people love this and want to be a part of this more than they already are. You know, I really
it
appreciate
directly supports. It helps so much. It honestly would not be feasible without the Patreons.
Yeah.
You can even sign up for free now if you just want to join the Patreon for free. And anything I post there that just posts, you just get free
hang
posts.
out.
Just come, just be a part of it. Join the Discord.
Join
be a
it.
part of it.
Come hang out. Be a part of it.
Oh my God.
Give us questions.
Yeah,
'Cause
do
on
that.
on the Discord, you can ask questions that we answer in Patreon.
Oh my God, so true.
Oh my God.
All right, that's it. Bye. Couple of things I forgot to talk about at the top of the show. I wanted to talk about PAX really quickly, but also Spawncast. I forgot to plug the whole Spawncast thing. I wanted to give that a shout out. Every Saturday at 8 p.m.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
I was thinking Central Time.
Oh, right. Well, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
Just Eastern time is the only one that matters.
I'm all Eastern Time now. So 9 p.m. Eastern Time on your channel, Spawn Wave. You do the Spawncast with who's the usual crew at this point?
Now it's MVG, Evan, Mystic Ryan, and Josie. And then Sean pops in RGT here and there.
When he's not watching wrestling or
When
basketball.
he's not wrestling and basketball, which basketball season will be done in 2 months, so you don't have to worry about that then.
And your show crushes it. Every time I'm watching live, you got like 3,000 plus people in there. Correct me if I'm wrong, could be more.
That's about right. Yeah.
And you've been doing this how many episodes?
It's like 360
Yeah.
or something. It's been a long time.
That's
It's been a
crazy.
long time.
You have a very passionate audience.
Yeah, we can go with that. We'll go with passionate.
Well, what do you want to? What would you go with?
I don't know. Trying to think of the right word for it.
He's dodging it.
Passion. We'll go with passionate. Passionate good.
Is the fun word that I used. I mean, I'll say that your audience. What can I say? Now I'm wondering what passionate's a fun word.
We'll go passionate.
They get a little spicy in there at times.
Yeah.
Very often.
Yeah.
They never seem happy. Do they enjoy the show, I assume?
Yeah.
Because they tune in every week.
Yeah, they do.
But they just always seem to be upset about something.
I mean, I guess it depends on the topics that come up, really. Trying to think. Like, Pokemon is definitely a divisive one.
Everyone's saying in the chat you forgot OJ.
OJ's on there as well.
Yeah.
Player Essence. Yep, OJ's on there.
I want to get OJ in here, actually.
You should.
Yeah, I'd love to
He'd
do
be
that.
good. He came over here for too many games, so I feel like he'd come over here for.
No, he definitely would. Yeah,
I think he'd like
need
to see
get him in
New York City and everything come after that.
and razz him about Xenoblade and RPGs in general.
Well, he should, because he could come over here and he could actually do some filming with the store, the Nintendo store.
Yeah, that's true.
And he could do a whole business thing for that.
We'll get him
right
in.
off of that.
I'll get him in.
Yeah, get OJ over here too.
But yeah, everyone check out Spawncast. It was a motivator for me to want to do a podcast too.
Oh,
Just
good.
because I just loved watching
It's fun.
yours.
It's fun having podcasts.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about is PAX. So next week and next weekend is PAX East in Boston. He looks very pleased about
I
that.
haven't booked my hotel yet.
Well, you haven't what?
It's fine. I'll book it. It's
Dude,
fine.
I just booked mine like a week ago, and the prices are like.
I know.
You should book the same one I booked. I don't want to say
No,
what it
but
is.
it's a Hilton, and I get points when I stay at the Hilton.
So we're all going to PAX next week, and we've already set up and planned to do an episode live from Boston.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
At PAX or like at the hotel?
No.
or-
So we're going to be doing it at a studio nearby that we found. They're all set up to do live streaming. We have a guest who I'll keep secret, who's going to come in and do the episode. So yeah, next week you'll see us live from PAX. Also, I should probably find the date and time. I'll be doing a signing, not a panel, but a signing with Bobathan. We're doing a shared signing. Why are you laughing at that?
Just like Bobathan. He was in the city and didn't call us. That
When?
bastard? Like 2 days ago. He went to an omakase with Hannah, and I was like,
really?
No phone call? He's so,
Yeah, he doesn't care anymore.
He's so secret.
At 12 p.m. noon on the Saturday. So come find us on the PAX floor, 12 p.m. noon on the Saturday.
Are you doing it at the Screenwave booth again?
Probably, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I had our manager, he reached out to me and he was like, "Do you want to do a signing at PAX?" And I was like, yeah. Am I doing it with Bob like I always do, or are we separate people now? Is what I asked him because I wasn't sure. And he wrote back, "Bob already said he wanted to do it with you."
Really?
I
Oh,
was
good.
like, oh, that's sweet.
Reunion.
That's nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Little reunion for the boys.
How was PAX?
I've only been once. I went last year, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, I didn't expect it to be so fun. I mean, I don't know what Nintendo are going to do this year, if anything. Last year, that was also asked, and they ended up bringing the Mario movie van, which was pretty cool. We got pictures in front of that.
Oh, yeah, I got the hat.
And the hats, yeah, that was cool. And then they also had the really cool Link Tears of the Kingdom statue with the hand thing that we're all taking photos
Right
in
at the
front of.
entrance, yeah.
Yeah. But that was it from Nintendo. But, you know, I went around and played a bunch of indie games and met a lot of cool and fun people that were bringing their games to the Switch. And I did a whole video interviewing developers and playing indie games coming to Switch. A lot of them have come out. A lot of them still haven't come out.
Oh,
Made a video about that. It was kind of like a mesh of like upcoming games and vlog. And that did really well. It got like 500,000 views. So I want to go and do that again. I've already booked a bunch of time slots to go and play a bunch of indie games that are coming to Switch. Some of them look really cool. There's one that's like a Zelda. It's like an indie game, but it looks like Super Nintendo Zelda, and it's a dungeon maker.
Oh.
So they've made like a Zelda, maker, their own Zelda maker. Yeah,
That's clever.
So
I've never been to PAX East.
You should.
I should. Maybe I'll go next year.
It's not too far. I think it's about a 5-hour drive for me. Probably be about the same for you. Or you
Same,
could fly.
same for me, too, though, 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we probably have to get out of the city, which adds that extra.
Depends when you leave, sure. I
Yeah.
mean, you go through Connecticut.
Do we just kind of go up and skip it all?
Yeah.
It's not too late. You can come next week.
Yeah. I think next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully Nintendo has something to show up with, a new system or something.
Yeah, I mean,
They demo it.
I mean, what's your theory on that? When do you think we're getting the Switch 2?
Probably March next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just full 8 years.
So very recently, before we heard about the hit getting delayed, before the leak of it getting delayed, I mean, I had a whole theory that it was going to come probably like late this year.
Right. I think everybody figured it would come late
Which,
this year.
yeah, I guess. And possibly even Nintendo, if we're also going to believe that this leaked rumor that it got delayed internally is real. Do you believe all of that? Do you believe it was going to happen this year and then it got delayed till next year?
I do. I think because I think the hardware, the system would be ready. I don't think that's the issue. I think it is the games themselves, software. Needs more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be incredibly important for them. They can't rely on a third party to come in and provide something. It's just we got to have a Mario Kart, maybe a Zelda.
Do you think that's why Pokemon are taking a year off?
Pokemon, yeah, it might be. It might be. Because, I mean, they'll have the Legends game probably first half of next year because it's on the Switch. And I think it'll work on the next system.
Yeah.
Backwards compatible. But then new generation maybe next year.
Yeah.
And then that'll be big for the new system. So and maybe it'll make Scarlet and Violet run at 30 frames. It'd be incredible stuff.
Yeah,
That's next gen.
If it's fully backwards compat, yeah, that would be really cool if we could actually play games like Scarlet and Violet and not have it break.
Did you take because we had Mario Day, did you take the announcements for
we
those?
should talk about Mario Day. Bring up Mario Day.
Did you take those announcements though with the release dates that they threw out there as like, okay, they've basically loaded up the first half of this year. Does that leave room for their runway to the next system? Different announcements? Because I think some people, myself included, I was kind of thinking Paper Mario might be July or August.
Yeah, later in the year.
Everything runs up into June, and that's it.
And then nothing?
And nothing. That's just the
Interesting.
cutoff.
I mean, it's hard to say because it wouldn't be uncommon for the lead up in the runway to a new console to be very quiet. But then they could also be leaving it clear for some other announcements or reveals. They've been pretty good about being steady this whole time.
Well, with the first Switch, it was October they ran the first trailer for it, and then it came out in March. So that was like a 5-month run almost.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it could be show it in June with a trailer, do some kind of event towards the end of this year, and then launch it in March.
That E3 kind of Summer Game Fest time.
Yeah, because if it's backwards compatible, their software is just going to keep selling.
So we could theoretically see the new Switch in just a few months.
I think so, yeah. I think we could see it in 3 months.
Wow.
Not a release though, like an announcement.
Yeah,
Probably just like an announcement, a trailer they put on a direct. Like if they have a direct, and then towards the end of it, they're like, "Here's the next system here's the next generation. Here's just a look at it."
Yeah, I think they'll do the same thing they normally do, like fade out. Here's this, and then it'll just be the.
They could give us the name for it. They could give us
I want the
actors
name.
playing around with the system.
I want the name so bad.
Did you see someone put out a photo that like they got an ad from YouTube saying the Nintendo Attach, right?
Switch Attach.
No.
That was the name that was in the survey.
Can you bring that up?
Switch
Attach.
Attach.
I gotta find it. Yeah, let me.
It was basically PS5, Xbox Series, might have been PC, and then it was Switch Attach was the name that YouTube was pitching.
That's horrible.
I don't think that's the actual name.
I don't like
I think that's a placeholder. Somebody within
Switch
YouTube who made the survey was
Attach.
like, let's just do Attach. And that sounds like an accessory. So
I mean, if we were to humor that for a second, Switch Attach, what would the gimmick be?
you can attach multiple systems together for multiple screens. And that's how they can sell 4 in a household.
That's, yeah, true. They could finally lean into like all different types of Joy-Cons.
Yeah. Yeah. It
can
could be a
attach.
whole, you're right. It could be a whole thing where you get like, it's like the Switch it or the new system itself is just this box that you buy and then stuff just starts attached. It's all crazy.
all different things you can attach to it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I like that actually.
And it's just magnets. It just snaps on. You don't slide them or anything. It just
Magnets?
Clips. Yeah. It just
How do
clips
they
right on.
work?
Just clips right on. Just clicks in.
What did you find? The attach?
Post got removed.
That's
Oh.
something I thought about too, was the mechanism to attach the Joy-Cons just being rails. Like that's something I feel like that would, I have to imagine improve or just kind of go to the next step.
You don't like the rails?
I think it feels old almost. I mean,
It
I know
does.
people
Yeah,
are
now you
like,
mention
oh,
it,
it's easy. But
But magnets that's not gonna hold on, is it?
I don't know. I feel like there's something they can do other than just slide it in this railing and it clicks. I don't know. It feels like there could be something better they can do
Do
with
a
it.
clip in or something, but yeah, I don't know about magnets. That'd be pretty strong.
I think the Reddit post literally just I found it on here. Like I have it on here, but when I tried to put it up, it got removed.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it just got removed.
Like seriously, it's here, but Max just tried to pull it up too, and it's gone.
Take a screenshot. I'll send you the screenshot.
That's actually funny.
When was this posted? How long has this been up?
A couple days ago.
A couple days ago. Yeah.
What's the chance of that?
I don't know.
They heard us talking.
Nintendo-
They knew we were coming.
Yeah, they got word of it. I'd take it out.
All right, we're pulling the Switch attached. That arm is huge, dude. You just staring at that arm right now like I am?
I'm waiting for Mario Day to come up. I thought we were going to look at the announcements for Mario Day because I think I have there it is. It's just said Switch attached though. It's all
We
good.
can look at it later.
Yeah.
We'll look at it
I don't
later.
want the computer to start chugging. If
Yeah,
being totally
it's
real,
already
so yeah.
struggling. We are trying to, I don't know if I said this already in the episode, but we did try switching the computer over so it wouldn't chug so much, and then we had more issues. So give us another week. We're getting there. We're figuring it out. I might need to buy the studio a new PC at this rate.
Daddy.
All right, so one of the first things I talked about is a new Super Mario Brothers movie. What do you think this is? Because they were very vague about how they talked about it. Like they didn't necessarily say it's a direct sequel. It was a new Mario movie in the Mario universe, they said.
Yeah, you're right. They were kind of vague about it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to be obviously Mario, Luigi doing some other adventure, I assume. They'll bring DK along, and maybe they.
That sounds cool. I mean, very much Galileo, where it could be something to Luigi's Mansion movie.
I like that kind of mystery, but like because
Yeah.
it's Nintendo, they do something a more general audience. So to go in a different from the first movie.
It's also kind of creating a cinematic universe. You're doing something. Different that's in the same universe, and then maybe you could do a Donkey Kong movie or do something off the wall, like a whole nother characters movie.
Well, I feel like they'd bring in a character that they think can then merchandise or build on further outside because the movie did incredibly well, $1.4 billion. It's going back to theaters here soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're gonna do another run of it, probably just to push that number up further. But I feel like with DK, they're doing so he's in the movie, and then they're doing an expansion for the theme park.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the other character you'd bring in that you might try to build on?
Diddy Kong?
Could be Diddy Kong. Could
You
be
mean-
Yoshi. Yoshi might
Yeah, you could
get
do a Yoshi
more of
movie.
a push maybe
Yeah.
in the movie.
For sure.
Maybe you introduce like I think it'd be cool if they did a different villain than Bowser. Bowser could still be in the movie, but maybe they bring in Wario or Waluigi or something like that. as the
Yeah, I was
villain.
going to say, so if it is just a straight sequel movie, which it very much could be, who would the villain be?
I feel like Wario with that studio, because that's the Despicable Me studio, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they could have a lot of fun with Wario.
Yeah, they
they
really
could do some
could.
really funny stuff. They could be him and like Waluigi as like the duo that just keeps messing up, as the bad guys.
Who would play Wario and Waluigi? Or even just Wario?
It'd just probably be Chris Pratt with different voices, right?
Oh my god.
Just all
I
of them.
hope not. I think Wario could be Danny DeVito.
Oh, okay.
That would
okay.
be really
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, they're already making him all Brooklyn, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know about Waluigi though. Also, then if you did Danny DeVito, you'd have Charlie Day and
Yeah,
Danny back together again.
yeah, that'd be cool.
What if Waluigi was Glenn Howerton?
You literally, it's always sunny.
Yeah, it's just an Always Sunny cast.
They replaced Anya Taylor-Joy with D.
With D, that would be funny. If they did like a Weech.
Jesus, they probably would.
So we have a Zelda movie coming up, Mario movie coming up.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Well, I mean, but those are two different avenues, right? You got the live action and then you got the animated. So are you talking about another animated movie, another live action movie? What studio are we thinking? Like, what are we talking about?
That's a
here?
good question. Because I kind of feel like the Zelda one's going to be still sort of stylized.
The Zelda one is, and I hate to put this energy out there, it's gonna be bad.
Oh, man.
I hate to do it. I hate to be a hater, but I have that gut feeling. A live action video game movie in general just has such a bad track history, and the people working behind it don't have a lot of credit in their favor for both good movies, but also just much in general.
They have Miyamoto on their side, don't they? He can help them.
Wasn't Miyamoto also helping with the first Mario Brothers
Well,
live action movie?
Okay. that was different. That was a different time.
Yeah, true.
Different time.
I mean, I don't want to be a buzzkill, and Zelda is obviously my favorite thing, so I'm not.
Well, that's why you should be more worried about it.
I am.
Because they
That's why I
could
am
absolutely
worried.
ruin the entire
Yeah.
thing for you.
Well, they won't ruin the whole thing, but it might make it.
You might look at the next.
It might make it look silly.
You might look at the next game and just see that actor in that terrible scene from the movie all the time.
I feel like it's gonna have first Avatar movie vibes.
Oh,
I don't know. I have that gut feeling. But I will say this: I also felt that way about the Mario movie.
Okay,
Like I was a big hater of the Mario movie. I was like, "There's no way this is gonna be good." I thought it'd be some weird live action animated mix, and then I was very wrong. And I was,
It was
very,
fun.
very.
Fun time
I
in theater.
loved it. So
Yeah.
good.
it's a fun
But I
time.
just have that feeling. I just have that feeling.
Well, I
again.
mean, these Nintendo movies, I don't go in expecting Oscar performance production. I just don't. I don't think it's going to win an Oscar, for example,
Yeah.
right? But if you go there and it's like 90 minutes and it's just fun, that's fun.
Yeah, that's
all
fine.
I'm looking for.
I'd be happy with that.
Although Zelda, that franchise seems like they would try to push it in that dramatic.
Yeah, it's
fashion,
tough. It's tough
so-
with the medium because, like, I kind of see it as like that Game of Thronesy sort of Lord of the Rings, Witcher vibe of like gritty, dark. If you're doing it live action and like you need to do the sword play right.
Are they going to push the? Is it going to be a PG-13 movie with Nintendo's logo
I
on it?
hope so, because that's what it feels like it needs to be.
It feels
not
like
gonna be R-rated.
It feels like
No.
it needs to be, but like, yeah, that's another reason why I feel iffy about it because it will probably end up being G-rated, like really family friendly. But like I've seen and we've seen so many times that style be done well, but also bad. Like Game of Thrones nailed it. So if they go in with like a Game of Thrones budget and mindset and like they do the action right and it's all like well choreographed and like shot and it's all beautiful and stunning and gorgeous, great. But as soon as they start taking cuts and doing and budget cuts and like half-assing certain things, that's when it looks really cheap. Like you're at a Ren fair with a couple of people in suits and they're like doing their thing. You know what I mean?
I think money will be good. Sony's funding it as well. They're backing it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like they're going to throw a lot of money at this thing.
I hope.
But
Because like I watched the new Lord of the Rings show. It had a lot of money thrown at it. And even then I was looking at it, I'm like, this, I don't know, something feels kind of like
if it was a
fakey and
series they were
budgety.
going to try to do over the course of like 10 episodes, I'd say, okay, that might be a little tough.
Yeah.
But this seems like something they're going to do. It's probably a 2-hour movie. And I feel like they'll fast track a lot of the early stuff to get to where it's like Link trying to overcome evil with his master sword.
that's
and-
another concern is like what story are they going to do?
Yeah, I think you just go traditional. No,
I
no,
keep thinking it's gonna be Ocarina of Time, just because
Just a cookie
that's
cutter
the
sort
most
of. He has to
iconic
save the
one.
princess and like get a sword and
Yeah, you don't got to reinvent the wheel. So
Yeah.
you just like in Link to the Past, you got 3 dungeons. You get them all done. You get the master sword.
they're
you
going to do
win.
dungeons.
That's it. I feel like they'd probably do something he would go to I don't know, put together some kind of pennant or something, and then get the master sword, and then he wins.
It'd be interesting if it was like a Jumanji approach, like how they redid the Jumanji movies. I don't know, like more dungeony, like because that's kind of the feel.
I feel like for a movie these days, everything they always has to be some like sidekick or like cast of crew of characters, and like in the game it's just Link going around. I feel like they're gonna throw in like a side or like really flesh out Navi or something.
I was gonna say, you
or-
think they're gonna have that happen?
gonna be a
there's gonna be another person with him. I
Has to
feel
be,
it
right?
now, and
Yeah.
then some like animal mascot or like fairy mascot or something with him the whole time.
But that's if it's a PG movie. If it's PG-13, it would be more, I feel, Lord of the Ringsy.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope they just don't
just
try to
gotta-
fit too much into it. Like they try to
just
do
got a
like
feeling.
Majora's Mask stuff where he's changing shape, and then they go into the future or they go and grab stuff from Twilight Princess, and they just try to mash it all together in 2 hours. I hope they don't do that. Just
No, because
Play it
they
safe.
have to open it up to sequels. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no
Yeah.
way this wouldn't have.
So
more
what are the
than
sequels then? Does they continue that story, or do they do like, okay, now we're gonna do Skyward Sword?
I like the idea of them just going to different heroes of time
Yeah,
in different times.
yeah.
Like
That
that
would
would be
be
kind of
cool,
cool
actually.
because then you can.
then there's an Infinity War movie.
Yeah,
at
at
the end
the
of it.
end they all come together.
Yeah, you can play around with the different art styles and stuff then. And that would be fun.
That would be really cool. They should do an animated one that's Wind Waker.
You could do that. That would be actually be a really cool idea if we just kind of restarted the story in different settings, and
Yeah, I like this.
That'd be fun.
This I like.
that'd be fun. You could even do one as just a series, like an animated series, and you pull from that when you do
I
your
honestly
big
feel
crossover.
like a Zelda series would have been a better choice. Like maybe I'm insane for that, but I just feel like there's more
It's
you
just
can do.
Budget-wise, it's harder because now you have to make 10 hour-long movies that you
Yeah,
put
I
into
know.
one show.
Yeah. I just feel like you could flesh things out a little bit more and like do like a Witcher approach. Was trying to cram in a Zelda story in an hour and a half, 2 hours, just feels like it's going to be a rushed adventure.
Yeah. Because, you got to think about it. There's usually three different dungeons, and then the boss. To do that all in an hour and a half to an hour.
Well, I also
45.
feel like the story needs more than just like Link, you have to go save the princess. Like that just feels so like one key. Like even the Mario movie sort of added in some twists and turns and random locations and characters and
who knows?
I don't know. What else was in the Mario Day thing?
If I go to that page, I don't know what's going to happen. But
We had Paper Mario,
Mario.
Luigis Mansion 2 HD got dated, so we
Talked
have
about those.
those are June and then May, so those 2 months, and then we also had like what was it? Endless Oceans in there. We have Showtime
In
Peak
Mario
Showtime.
Day?
No, just like their first half of.
Oh, right. Yeah,
so they have their first half set up pretty well. They had
Luigi's Mansion. That was it mostly. It was mostly about the movie.
Game Boy games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mario
They
Game Boy
dropped some
games.
Mario Game Boy games.
They had Dr. Mario, tennis, and then golf.
And that was it, right?
Yes, and people aren't putting enough respect on tennis and golf.
Dude, tennis is... I
Okay.
love that game.
Okay, not
I
enough
freaking
respect
love
on
that
those games.
You like them?
Yeah, they're full single player RPGs.
Oh really?
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
this is the response I get from everyone.
Yeah,
I say,
I didn't
they're
know
like,
that.
oh.
Yeah.
When I saw that announcement, I was like, oh, yeah, it's such a fun... I like tennis more
Really?
than golf.
Yeah, you
but they're
level up
really
your
good.
characters, you get
Yeah.
stat points. You actually go around in an overworld
Whoa.
and like go on like little quests and stuff to become the best person at the academy for tennis or
Man, I hate that the newer Mario sports games have really tainted all the old ones. man.
Yeah, this is where it all started though, was the
Yeah.
idea of mixing RPG and sports for Nintendo. Was back
Where
then.
did it start going more towards just the sport?
Probably, the N64 version for golf, just kind of just that. And you didn't have that. It was actually just for the handheld. Like the Game Boy Advance also had like single player RPGs for or golf and tennis. And then they kind of got away from that completely.
Yeah, they need to really reevaluate a lot of things with the Switch attach.
Switch attach. Yeah.
and Nintendo attach or whatever it's called. They need to go back to the drawing board, but they need to pull a Ubisoft Assassin's Creed 4.
Maybe we'll give you a little tennis racket controller you could attach to it.
Oh, that would be
We did that
good.
with the Wii,
To
right?
the
We
whole
put the-
console?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when you're
it's just- it's
playing,
just
you're
all on there.
smashing
Yep.
the whole console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
cool.
Wii. We had the Wii remote tennis racket.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You didn't attach that to the whole console. But
Hey,
No, they had
different
that.
times.
Different times.
They
Different
had that for
times.
the Switch, too. Oh, you're talking about... That'd be nuts. Because they had the Joy-Con tennis racket thing, too.
I still
Wasn't great,
remember
but yeah.
when the NX was revealed and we were like, we knew that the Joy-Con system was coming and people were drawing up all that fake fan art of like, what if they had GameCube ones that could slide on, or like a one side was like a fishing reel and the other side was like a hook thing, and like all these different ideas and concepts. And then as far as Nintendo went, all they did this whole time was just different colors of Joy-Cons.
They didn't put a D-pad on it.
No. Well,
They let third parties do it.
yeah, there was like a hoary official Nintendo one.
They let them do
could
it, but
get.
like Nintendo,
Yeah.
they never like
Nintendo, they didn't do
D-pad.
anything.
I wonder if they get away with that. They just do D-pad from that. Have you ever really handed a Joy-Con to like single Joy-Con?
No.
Me neither.
No. I love the people I play games with. Why would I do that to
I feel
them?
like Nintendo thought that was going to be a big thing, and I just don't.
I'm sure it is in like households with like a couple of young kids or whatever, and they're like sharing a console.
I mean, my
playing
kids are
Mario
just
Kart.
like want Joy-Cons or Pro controllers or whatever.
yeah,
like
but
that.
your kids have you as a dad.
That's true. They have a lot of controllers.
Yeah, they
that's
have
true.
options.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. They've never really controlled well with just the.
No, it sucks. I do think it happens in some households and like people that can't afford to have more than a pair of Joy-Cons. It's nice to have the option there.
No, maybe people can
But-
let us know in the chat or the comments.
Yeah, let us
if
know
they-
in the chat. But if they thought it was going to be more of an actual thing, it's funny actually. I got a Switch kiosk recently, and I have this like thing that I stick over it. It's like a big display piece, and it says, and this is like from the original like marketing, 3 ways to play. And I even thought to myself, I had to like look at it. I was like, 3 ways, and it was the handheld, docked, and then tabletop. And I always forget about tabletop. I'm like, yeah, they really were pushing. They really were pushing those 3 unique play styles, but how often have you ever kicked out that kickstand and played something in the tabletop mode?
It's been a while. I feel like if I flew more or traveled more, maybe
On like a plane?
Yeah, on a plane where I'm
Yeah.
not responsible for steering the ship or something.
Yeah.
If that was the case, you got that was the big thing they wanted to show, that you pull the table down
With the
tabletop mode,
Skyrim
whole
on the
thing.
flight.
Yeah, a lot of polite people on that flight too. They always show those in ads. Everyone's real happy and nice, and it's like I don't know if that's always out, but you'd be able to at least fit it on the lunch tray and play it. But that never happened to me. So
I tried it on the plane. I tried it on the plane with the original Switch, and every time you'd hit like a little bit of vibration, it would just and fall down.
I just hold the Switch. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the same thing.
It was pretty straightforward.
We got a light falling down over there that Max is having a hold
Everything's
on
fine.
to.
Everything's fine. Shush. We're good. We're good.
I mean, we're at the top of the show
I was gonna say,
anyway.
we're
We've talked
at
about
the end
pretty
of the
much
show.
everything. So, anything else you want to cover?
I think that's it.
That's
You
it.
good?
You're done. Oh my gosh. Let me check my notes real quick.
Okay. Check your notes.
Oh, okay. So in the bonus episode, you want to talk about Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom?
We can talk about
We
that,
didn't
yeah.
get to that.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about MIG Switch, which I have not covered really at all, and I wanted to get your take on that.
Okay.
So we can go over both of those in the bonus episode that you guys can get on Patreon. If you go over to patreon.com, you can sign up for free now, or if you do the $5 a month tier, you can get all the bonus episodes and the behind the scenes that I just posted. Oh my God, what a deal. What a time. I want to give a huge thank you to John Spawnwave for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We get a round of applause from everybody that's not holding a light right now. I really appreciate you coming in. And if you guys want to watch him, you got to go to his channel Spawnwave, where he uploads daily news waves every single morning. And at 9 p.m. Eastern time every Saturday has his own podcast, the Spawncast, with a wonderful cast and crew of people that cover everything that happens during the week in gaming and news.
OJ's on there.
OJ is on there.
OJ is on there. He is on
He
there.
is. I've been on there a few times.
Yep.
I'd love to come back. Your audience loves when I'm there. I'm one of their favorite people. I think me and Dreamcast Guy, their favorite people. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you. I hope you had a good time.
I did. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
It's great.
You drove in.
I did. I did.
You had the same drive I did.
It was fine, and then you get into
Yeah,
the first 2 hours fine. You get into New York,
And
and
then
it's
it's
like
brutal.
It's an hour to go, like 6 miles. So.
It is brutal. We're gonna figure that out. All right, bye.